Welcome to the show, folks. I'm Gregor Havener. This video is going to follow a format I'm experimenting with for reviews of specific tanks, ships, guns, what have you, in a variety of games. Basically, stuff you can use to blow shit up. I'm fighting by sea again aboard one of the most feared battleships in the Atlantic. A vessel that inspired dread in the minds of English sailors. This is the German battleship Tirpitz, as it appears in World of Warships as a Tier 8 premium battleship. Actually, my good friend Matt, who co-hosted Russian Bias with me for a while, is using this ship. I haven't bought it yet, and I probably won't. All the gameplay on offer of the ship comes from him, so that is very much appreciated. Shout out to him for that. The Tirpitz was one of the biggest, baddest battleships to be fielded by the Kriegsmarine. One of two Bismarck-class battleships, she was the sister ship of the flagship Bismarck, which met an untimely end relatively early on in the war. But the Tirpitz lasted a little bit longer. Much of her service career was spent in the Scandinavian fjords, as she was needed as a deterrent to prevent an Allied invasion of the German mainland. However, it drew the attention of the British, and was subjected to a number of attacks from the Royal Navy and Royal Air Force. Towards the end of the war, a flight of Lancaster bombers managed to sink her with some bombs specifically designed to take the ship out. She capsized, sunk, and was broken up following the war's conclusion. A rather underwhelming service career for such an awe-inspiring ship. Still, the Tirpitz is a force to be reckoned with in World of Warships. Much of her distinguishing characteristics are reflected in-game. So, I'll take a look at the stats. First, let's compare her to her contemporaries. For starters, the size of her guns. They're a bit smaller than her contemporaries. She has 4 dual-barreled 15-inch guns. The other Tier 8 battleships have 16-inch guns. And the Tirpitz has less of those guns. The North Carolina has 9, and the Amage has 10. But the Tirpitz fires those guns, and turns its turrets faster than either of those ships. And fast, strangely enough for a battleship, is something that applies in multiple instances for this thing. The Tirpitz also has a fairly high top speed of 31 knots, and while its turning circle is rather large, it has a very fast rudder shift time. The ship also has really strong secondary batteries with dual-purpose 105s as well as 150s that fire high explosive rounds. That's uncharacteristic of the second batteries of other ships. Its close-range anti-aircraft guns are also very powerful. An uncharacteristic of every battleship in the game right now is the ship's usage of torpedoes, 4 on each side. Now, some would probably look at this and wonder what the hell you would really do with these torps. After all, since this is a battleship, it would make sense to fight from range. Well, there's something else that makes the ship stand out that suddenly makes the mounting of torpedoes suddenly not seem so strange. The Tirpitz is very, very heavily armored from the side. The deck armor is serviceable, but at close range, where all that you're going to be able to shoot at is the hull of the ship, it's nigh impenetrable. What does this all mean? It means that the Tirpitz occupies an interesting role for a battleship as a close-range brawler, particularly adept at taking down enemy cruisers. It's pretty self-explanatory. This ship's combination of strong hull armor, fast-firing guns, and powerful close-range armament in the form of strong secondary batteries and torpedoes make this a very difficult ship to sink from close range. Those torpedoes don't have particularly long range, but their sheer existence on a battleship says something in and of itself. So if a pesky destroyer tries to give the Tirpitz a hard time up close, they could meet a particularly nasty surprise. But that's not to say these torpedoes can't be used in an offensive posture either. This ship is meant to get up close and personal, after all. As you can see in this replay, Matt isn't doing what you'd probably expect a Tier 8 battleship to do. Now, it's not exactly a radical concept for a battleship to do most of its damage up close. There are a couple of Japanese battleships that follow this example, like the Tier 3 Kawachi, but this thing is damn fast for a Tier 8 battleship, and like I mentioned, its hull armor is extremely tough. Deck armor not so much, but when in a position where the only target the opponent has is the side, the Tirpitz is nigh impenetrable. You don't want this thing to get close to you under any circumstances. Even if you are operating a battleship yourself, it's not a bad idea to take advantage of the fact that this ship has torpedoes at close range, especially against other slow-moving battleships, like the Amage or the Carolina. Fire a set of torpedoes, then come around, and fire the rest to finish off the target if they haven't been destroyed already. Again, this ship has a very fast rudder shift time, and while the turning circle is large, those torpedoes will still come to bear pretty quickly. And if any pesky destroyers or fast cruisers do try to give you a hard time, this ship is not invincible. It will take just as much damage from torpedoes as any other battleship, but those secondary batteries will make mincemeat of lightly armored targets. Here's some footage to demonstrate that, taken before that battleship got blown up by Matt's Torps. Now, other battleships have armor that's designed to protect them up close, so especially when you're playing at higher tiers, the 150s are going to have a hard time penetrating up close, so you'll likely want to fire HE in those scenarios. Don't just turn your brain off and fire AP all the time. Now, what if you're a frugally minded person like me and you don't feel like paying $65 for an internet ship? I shouldn't really say anything because a vain bastard like me will spend hundreds of dollars just on a set of fancy clothes, but hey, whatever makes you feel more comfortable, man. However, there are plenty of people out there that have already gobbled this thing up, so whether you want this ship or not, at tier 8 you're gonna have to put up with it. So how should you fight it? Stay the hell away. Whittle it down from range. I can't stress that enough. The deck armor of the Tirpitz isn't particularly strong, so if you're in a ship with some long-range guns, you will have the advantage. You can get some citadel penetrations if you have some big ol' high-caliber guns. Just dictate the fight. A good Tirpitz captain is going to try and put you in a corner. Don't let them. Every ship has a weakness, some more than others. Use their weaknesses against them. That's just common sense. The Tirpitz has some quirks, but it's a very unique design and a potent one at that. Unleash hell at close range against enemy cruisers, and destroyers shouldn't bother you much if you keep your eyes peeled. Her secondary batteries tear lightly armored ships to pieces, and her torpedoes can be the deciding factor in a brawl with any kind of ship it comes across, particularly battleships, as their 150mm guns will sometimes have a hard time penetrating their hull armor. At range, those 150s can score citadel pen through the decks of other ships, but that also puts the Tirpitz at a disadvantage as its deck armor isn't particularly strong either, so keep that in mind. The Tirpitz has a faster rate of fire for her main guns though, so make sure those shots count, and you should be fine. Overall, the Tirpitz is a beastly ship. Is it worth as much as a bottle of premium wine? Maybe. Depends on who you are. Should Wargaming stop doing this "get it now before it's too late" bundle bullshit where you can't just buy the base vehicle for a lower price? Yes. But you know what? They wouldn't get as much money. Not like they're hurting in terms of financials anyway. Regardless, the Tirpitz is a solid ship, and an interesting addition to World of Warships. If you're interested in getting it, you can buy it from the Wargaming store up until October 1st, or you can wait until Wargaming decides to put it back up on sale later on. Not that they'll say they're gonna do it, but they're gonna do it. Or you can wait until the German battleship line is added, which will be a while from now, but the tier 8 equivalent could be similar. Now, if you want to know a thing or two about the German ships that are coming to the game very soon, check out my video breaking down the leaked German cruiser line. I'll leave a link in the description. I'll also be covering the Soviet destroyers coming in late October alongside them. Be sure to subscribe for more content like this. My name's Gregor Havener. Thanks so much for watching.